Welcome to Triumph IAS. It's a daily mains practice question and answer series. This program is exclusively designed for UPSC CSE aspirants. In this video discussion, we will discuss UPSC CSE mains previous 25-year questions. Question number 1. Discuss the role of women in the freedom struggle, especially during the Gandhian phase. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. The grounds for women participation were laid by Rani Lakshmi Bai, Begum Hazrat Mahal, etc. during the revolt of 1857. The main body of the answer should be Number 1. One of the principles of Gandhi's methodology was to encourage the vulnerable and backward communities into the freedom struggle and ensure their massive participation. Gandhi believed women naturally possess the traits of satyagraha, non-violence, and passive resistance. Number 2. Although women also participated in the Swadeshi movement and the Home Rule movement, but their contribution to freedom struggle became instrumental only after the advent of Gandhi into the scene. Number 3. Leaders like Sarojini Naidu, Sarla Devi, Aruna Asaf Ali, Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, Sucheta Kripalni, etc. played significant role in the non-cooperation movement of 1920. Number 4. Women's participation in the national freedom struggle challenged the centuries-old social barriers that confined women into the four walls of household. Number 5. During the civil disobedience movement, women were active in holding public meetings, boycott of foreign cloth, picketing of liquor shop, and other constructive works. They also proved that they are ready to accept critical responsibilities in the national politics. Number 6. Arun Asaf Ali was a prominent leader of the underground movement during the Quit India movement, 1942. Number 7. The nationalist cult around Bharat Mata that emerged during the nationalist movement necessitated the proactive role of women in the national platform. The conclusion of the answer is many foreigners like Annie Besant, Margaret Cousins also played a lead role in the movement and become role model for other women. Many women were also active in revolutionary activities against the foreign rule. In brief, women moved shoulder to shoulder with men in the freedom struggle, and their overall role is worth praising. Question number 2. The broader aims and objectives of WTO are to manage and promote international trade in the era of globalization. But the Doha round of negotiations seemed doomed due to differences between the developed and the developing countries. Discussed in the Indian perspective? Let's start with the main body of the answer. Number 1. The General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade was replaced by World Trade Organization in 1994. WTO is an international platform that enables the developing and third world economies to negotiate international trade issues with the developed world, keeping in mind their domestic interests. Number 2. WTO is a channel through which the poor economies can withstand the relentless demand of developed countries to open their markets without reciprocal benefits. Number 3. The Doha Development Round or Doha Development Agenda is the trade negotiation round of the World Trade Organization which commenced in 2001. Number 4. The basic objectives of the Doha round was to lower trade barriers around the world and thus facilitate increased global trade. Number 5. India feels that issues like environment and labor should be kept out of the purview of WTO and instead should be dealt under concerned global bodies like UNFCCC and ILO. Number 6. Since rich nations have superior standards on these issues, they can pose a challenge for developing nations by acting as non-tariff barriers, thereby adversely impacting their exports to rich nations. Number 6. Further, outstanding issues, like the special safeguard mechanism for protecting the interests of poor farmers in developing countries and a permanent solution on public stockholding for food security, need to be resolved before discussing new non-trade issues. The conclusion of the answer is India can only be successful in this endeavor of putting an end to attempts to introduce new issues if it can establish a strong alliance of developing and poor countries and training a sufficient pool of trade law experts to represent them effectively at WTO's dispute settlement body. Question number 3. Discuss India's achievements in the field of space science and technology. How the application of this technology has helped India in its socio-economic development? Let's start with the introduction of the answer. India has made remarkable progress in space science and technology in the last decade and took major strides in utilizing the operational space systems in various fronts of national development: commercial, strategic, societal, and economic. The main body of the answer should be Number 1. The Advanced Cartography Satellite, Cartosat-2, launched in 2007, enhanced the imaging capability to sub-meter high resolution in tune with the global trend. Number 2. The Space Capsule Recovery Experiment Mission SREL in 2007 established India's technological capability to recover an orbiting satellite with precise re-entry trajectories. Number 3. India's maiden moon exploration mission Chandrayaan-1 was launched in October 2008. The Indian Remote Sensing Satellite System, with currently 11 satellites in orbit, is one of the largest constellations of remote sensing satellites in operation in the world today. Number 4. The first of the Indian Regional Navigational Satellite System was successfully launched in July 2013. Number 5. India aims the completion of the IRNS constellation with 7 satellites, leading to the introduction of satellite-based positioning and timing services in the country. Number 6. India's first interplanetary mission, the Mars Orbiter spacecraft, was successfully launched in 2013. India's Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, with a proven track record of 24 successful flights, has provided the country the crucial autonomy in access to space. Number 7. Several future missions including Chandrayaan-2, Astrosatellite, Aditya-1 are underway. GSLV Mk3 will provide India the capability to launch 40-class communication satellite into orbit. Number 8. INSAT system was instrumental in taking the benefits of space technology to the doorsteps of common man through the initiatives of telemedicine and village resource centers in the country. Number 7. Better remote sensing helps in predicting monsoon and droughts and enhance government's preparedness. Fishermen can now be alarmed of approaching disasters. Cyclones and heavy rainfalls can be predicted easily. It immensely helps in agriculture. The conclusion of the answer is India's defense capabilities have increased with better communication system. India's achievements, besides making it self-reliant in space technology, significantly impact its socio-economic development.